Yope bapesa ya Cleopatra Mukula.
Ase otele mino na kwe posali no lokote na motokia chibude wataka ule wewe. Yope bapesa yo. Yope bapesa yo.
Les pacificateurs jusqu'au bout. Vital Kameni. Yuma no gagati. Zoba no gagati. Yuma no gagati. Zoba no gagati.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the session for Day 2, Develop Website in Clicks. In yesterday's session, we were able to look into and touch upon the basics of website development, hosting, and many other important aspects of website. In today's session, we are going to move on from where we have left. So, sorry for delay by 5 minutes as we were just trying to set up the customized links for our participants who are attending today's session over live streaming. And soon the session will be also available on the Facebook page as we had yesterday. I hope you all have downloaded the presentation copy from the Facebook page for the yesterday's session. And let's move on without wasting time for today's session. And obviously today's session is much more exciting than compared to the yesterday's one, as we are going to dive deep into the setting up of the home page, creation of page, menus, and many other activities to be done to decorate your website and get it live. So in yesterday's session, we covered the fundamentals of internet, website hosting, domain name, URL. We also looked and we understood what is the concept of HTML, CSS, JavaScript, PHP. We also had a brief introduction about CMS, and we also narrowed it down to WordPress. Usually, for each and every developer, there is always the issue that there is no hosting available. So we usually use our local host, that is our own machine, and we install various different softwares and we try out experiments. But in yesterday's session, we have actually learned how to use a free hosting service and how we can get a free domain name and install CMS, WordPress in our case, on the free hosting service, use the free domain name and actually develop your website as a prototype. And later on, if you're ready, you gain some confidence, you can always go and buy the hosting space by paying a small amount, as well as you can also get your customized domain name. We have also installed WordPress yesterday. We also activated the theme. We selected a theme based on the requirement of my website, which was for a restaurant. And that's where we left out. And today we are going to cover up how to set up the home page for my website. How do I create new pages? How do I create a menu? And then last but not the least, once my website is ready, how do I share it with the friends and move ahead with my website? So in the next slide, I'll be demonstrating how we are setting up the home page. So if you have missed yesterday's session and you have joined freshly today's session, then I would request you to please visit my Facebook page @Shehrevar, download the copy of presentation, which is available freely for you to download. You can also view the video of yesterday's session, which was live, and also it is available as a copy for you to download it, to view it anytime, whenever you want. So the recorded session is also available. And please look into the steps that you have missed so that you can be connected with today's session later on and you can recollect the knowledge, make use of it, and go ahead with your website. So now we are diving into setting up of the home page where I have left yesterday, and we are moving on setting the sliders and setting the first page of my website. So over here, this is where I had left yesterday. If you can look into my address bar, I have the developers panel. I have entered the username and password, and I have just logged into my dashboard. And let me open up my website in the new tab so that this is my view that is available for the public. Here I have to set this particular homepage because it looks pretty dull and it's not exciting. So the very first thing what I need to do is I'm going to add some exciting pictures over here, which are called as sliders. So I'm going to add sliders to my website over here, and for that I'll be moving into appearance. Within appearance, I'll go to a menu which is called as customize. In this customized menu, I have many options. Based on this particular theme, there is an option called as front page. When I click on front page, I have an option called as main slider. The main sliders over here, the images are not added directly. The images are added based on the pages that are already created in a dummy data. So what I need to do is, if I need to add a picture over here in the slider, I need to add the picture to this particular pages which are already created. So I need to find out these two pages, Discover Our Glory of Cooking and Fine Dining. So to do that, I'll go back to my dashboard, and in my dashboard I'll visit pages, all pages, since the pages are created, and I'll hunt for the page wherein I have to put in the picture. So the page where I have to put in the picture so that it is displayed and visible on my slider is over here. Fine and delicious food. No, this is the page, Discover Our Glory of Cooking. So this is the page where I need to add an image so that the image can appear on the slide bar. So there is a section over here called as featured image. When I click on featured image, I have already uploaded many images. If you have not, you can select and upload it. So I like this particular picture. I'll just click on it, select it, and I will set it as a featured image for my page. So the theme is developed in such a way that you set the featured image and it automatically appears in the sidebar. Now the image is added. I need to save this setting. So the page is already published. If you want to add some text, you can add that text. If you want to directly view the page, you can directly click on the link, and you can also view the page how it looks over here. So here I will just click on update so that the new settings are implemented to my page. Let's refresh this public view of my website over here and see, this is the change. So I set the feature image for this page and the image has appeared over here as a slide bar. Now same process I'll be doing it for the second slider. Let's also look at this particular page individually. So when I look at this page individually, this is how the page will appear to me when anyone clicks on the home page and click on the button called as learn more or read more. That's how the page looks like. So when I click on read more, see, this is how the page opens up over here. When I am back to my home page. So now the same process will be repeated to add a second slide bar, because I have ability in this theme to add two sliders. So the second page name, I have to search for the second page where I have to add the slide bar from the pages option, and I click on edit, fine dining, delicious and delicious food. I'm just clicking on the edit option. If you want to edit the text, you can do that. I'm going to click on set feature image and add a new image over here. If you don't have image, you can always use upload menu. You can select the image from the collection of your images, upload it. The image are uploaded. If you want to add some caption to image, you can do that. You can add alternate text. So let's say if the internet connection is slow for the users, if the image is not uploaded, you can add alternate text. So instead of image, that text will be visible. I have set the featured image over here. Yes, we are ready to go over here. I want to remove this particular sentence, so I have deleted it from here. I will go and click on update, and let's see whether the changes are saved for my page or not. If you want to hide this page, you can do that also. You can change the settings from here. You can make it private or password protected page, but in my case I want to keep it public because I want everyone to visit my page. So let's see. Yes, the second slider is also set for my theme over here perfectly fine. It's good to go. It's good to go. And see, even the text which I made changes, the text is also changed over here. So let's go back to our home page. Works perfectly fine. So let's move ahead. Now again we go to customize, because there are lots of things that we need to change on this particular page. Slider is the first part that we have changed. We need to move on to this second particular part. So over here I have a text why Kabul Cafe. So it is again in the home page option wherein there is a tab called as services. So I'll just change the title over here, and I will just rename this section to make it much more attractive to customers, because the words play a lot of important role, and that is what I had also discussed in my previous session on digital marketing. So I'll just say our services. So we all cook food and everything, but the services defines us very well. I'm checking online payments and everything. So how I make the customer experience very well. So you see I have published it and the changes are implemented. Now over here again, the text is dependent on different pages. So if I want to edit any of the text, I have to go to that particular page. Let's say I want to change the text for accept cards, the description text. So I'll go to pages, that is again all pages, and I'll look into the page called as accept cards, and I will edit it. So over here, let me say I want to add an extra sentence over here to make it more informative to my customers. So I'm adding an extra line over here. We are glad to accept online payments, online transactions. Because online transactions are direct bank transaction. If you don't have card, you can pay it by bank transaction as well. I have updated it, and let's look into. Yes, the changes are done. Now next part, I need to go ahead and change the next part over here. So let's go back to appearance again, and front page again, because we need to change the setting from the front page. Now about us section is disabled by me, so it won't appear on the screen. Even I have disabled gallery. Section 2 testimonial, I don't want to change anything as of now. So the changes that I want to do on the page is basically a new section which is called as call to action. So here, this is the section wherein you are telling your customers that click on this or install this particular application or something like that. So it's called as a call to action. So there is no image over here, and there is a button which is called as detail. So I'm giving a new name to it. I don't want the button name to be detail, so I'm changing it to learn more. So the changes are done over here. The minute I hit on publish, it will be visible to public, and the changes will be done. Now similarly, I'm going back because I have to make certain changes in the page. I want to add a background image to it, so I'll just find the page over here. Where is the page? So this is the title of my page. And when I scroll down, again same thing, I have to set a feature image for this. So over here, since it's a call to action button, so I'm just giving a message to customers that download our app and get the best offers. So I have just clicked on this, I have set it as a featured image, and I just update it. And after refreshing, this is the difference. So the image is set, the button name is changed, and it is public. This is the next section for testimonials. You can replace the name from testimonials to our recipes or whatever you want. In my case, I'm not doing it. But what I want to show is the option called as post. How you use the option called as post. So here I'm just changing, which is called as a post which is already created called as hello world. I'm just changing the content of it. If you want, you can also edit the title. So here I'm writing the recipe for one of my favorite African dish called as ugali, which is a delicacy from East Africa. And I'm just adding a picture also because I want a picture to appear on my front page along with the description of the dish. So I have this lovely picture of this particular dish over here. I have edited, and I set the feature image over here, publish it. Now just refresh the page. You can see the title is Hello World because I have not changed it, but you can see certainly the description of Ugali has appeared with the picture. If you want to replace this testimonial, you can replace the testimonial word as well. This area is basically called as the footer area. So now let's make changes in the footer area. So for making changes in the footer area in this particular slide, there are no settings available in my customized option. So there are no settings to be changed in customized option. So now the question is, how do I change footer? So there is an option which is called as widgets in my appearance menu, and this is the widgets in the footer. So you can see I have different footer areas over here. So I have 4 footer areas in my slide. So this is the first, second, third, and fourth. So each of them I can customize it. So second footer area basically consists of services related to lunch, its timing and everything. The first footer area consists of description about my restaurant. Now my restaurant name is Kabul Cafe, so I will just change it to Kabul Cafe over here. I'm not going to change the icon over there. I'm just changing the name. If you are good in coding, maybe you can make use of your HTML coding skills also over here, but if you are not, then you don't need to do anything. You can just type the text using the visual editor. You can save it over here and it's done. So let's look at the changes. So yes, see, Kabul Cafe is a restaurant and coffee roastery located on a busy corner site. So it's done. It's done. The changes are done. Now on other hand, I have another footers. So if you want to make any changes, you want to remove the quick links which are there, which drives you to different pages, you can remove it. If you want to keep it, you can keep it. If you want to change the details related to the contact, like the address, phone number, email, you can also do that. I'm happy with this contact details of my hotel in Nepal. So I'm pretty much happy with it, and I'm not going to do anything over here. So now let's move on to the About Us page. So if you look at, I have to move on to different pages by going through the links. And if you look at the page, right side of the page over here, there are different links which I don't really need. I don't need this search bar, and I don't need this recent comments section and everything. So what I'm going to do is I want to remove it. So again, I'm going to widgets, and this is the slide bar. So this all are placed in the slide bar option. So I'm just deleting it from the slide bar, and it's saved. And let me refresh the page. So the slide bars, whatever extra options from my slide bars have disappeared, and that's the reason you can only see an option called as recent post. In fact, you can rename the title as recent post as well. You can increase the number of posts, you can decrease the number of posts that you have created for the, which basically serves as the recipes in my case. If you want to add something, let's say I want to advertise some company, the burger company has paid me for advertisement, and I want to advertise that burger for that particular company on my page. So what I will do is, from this widgets option, I'll just look for a option called as image. I'll just add this image in the slide bar over here, and I have the image of the company. So I'm going to add this company image over here and to my slide bar. If you have a website link, you can also add the website link, but in my case, I am just demonstrating, so there is no website link. But in short, there is an advertisement for a burger to be appeared on your page. So here it comes. So the burger advertisement is displayed on your page, and if you add a link, anyone can click on it and can go to that particular company's page, or your product can be also displayed over here. So in short, this is how you can customize your homepage. So if you look at the theme, pretty much the theme looks what it was in the preview image. So over here, what we have done in short is we have created our home page. We have in fact set our home page to what we had expected from the theme. You can make it more customized, just to due to the limitation of time, and it's a demonstration, so I am not going in detail with the setting up of homepage, but I have covered most of the important aspect of how the homepage has to be set up. So now let's move on to the another important aspect of the website, which is creating pages. So up till now we have modified the existing page. Now over here I'm going to create a new page. So I'm going to click on pages, add new page, and let's say I want to create a page to show you the recipe for any of the dishes. If you want to add this page as a child to any of the existing page, you can select it over here. So if I select fine and delicious food, my new page will be a part of that particular page. But here I want to create this as an independent page, so I'm not selecting anything. If you want to set a feature image, you can set the feature image as well. If you don't want to add a featured image, it's up to you, you can do that as well. So in my case, what I have done is I already have the content ready with me. That's the reason I told that you need to have your content, images, everything ready before you go ahead with the website. So here I'm creating a page, a recipe for ugali, so people who like this dish can actually see how the dish is. So I just pasted the recipe for this particular dish. Now over here, even again, you know the code, you can go to the text, you can change the texts, but if you don't know code, it's better to stick to automation. So here, if I want this to be appeared in bold text, I want it center aligned, I can do that also. If I don't want any center alignment, I want to keep it as left aligned, it's fine. Again, I go with bold. So whatever customization you want to make for the text, you can do it over here using the options provided. And it's the editor is as simple as how you use your Microsoft Word. So all my changes I have done, I'm happy with it, but I still feel something is missing. So let me work out on that. Now this is the layout, how you want to select. Do you want a slide bar on the right, or you want without slide bar? Then you can do that as well. But in my case, I prefer going with a slide bar because I have a burger advertisement. So each and every page, the burger advertisement will be there wherever I have selected layout with slide bar. This is the feature image for my page. What I'll do over here is I also want to add one more image about the dish, because without image of the dish, recipe doesn't look good. So I just want to add one more image, and I'll upload it from my machine. And then after the image, the recipe will be displayed on my page. So first comes the image and then the recipe. The users can look through the recipe. If you want to write alternate text, you can write alternate text. If you want to add caption, you can do that as well. In my case, I don't want to do anything, so I'm okay. I want this image in center, so I'll just click on this button. I want some text below this image so users can know what is this image about. So I will make use of a feature called as caption, and I'll write my caption so people can actually understand what is this. So I have written ready to eat because the ugali dish is all cooked. You can save it as the draft. If you want to preview after publishing how the page will look like, this is how the page looks like. So feature image is covered in the header area, then comes your image, then comes your recipe, and you can see the burger ad also coming up over here in the slide bar. So I feel it's pretty much good. The settings are good to go. So I have clicked on publish button over here and it's done. So let's check, is it ready? So I have refreshed the page. Now the problem is I don't have menu. And how can I visit this particular page on my website? And how can my audience visit this particular page on my website? Because there is no link in the footer area also. So now here comes the need of the menu. So we will go ahead and see how to create a menu, because now we know that yes, menu is very much important. Without menu, we cannot navigate anywhere. So menu is required for navigation. So now in the next slide, which is very important, that we have to create a menu. And how do we create a menu without coding? So let's have a look. So we don't have a menu. So again, we come to our dashboard and we go to appearance. Within appearance, we have an option called as menu. We click on this menu option and you see there are so many things over here which are displayed, and none of these options are of use to me. So this is the home page. Okay, fine. I will need a home page, so I'll keep, so the audience don't have to always click on the logo. But before I do that, I need to give some name to this particular menu. So I will just give a name to the menu. So I have told that main menu because I just have one menu. So I've given it as main menu. I have saved it. Now, whatever I don't need, I'll just remove it from here because they are useless. And I save it. It's most important to save the changes that you have done. I will say automatically add new menu, top level menus, and this menu will be my primary menu that is on the header. So just refreshing it. Yes, I have got my menu over here. I have home, I have contact, I have blog. So when I click on contact, my contact page appears, and see this is the ready-made contact form which has come up with my theme. When I click on home, I'm back to the front page that I have for my website. So now over here, I want to add a sub menu within this blog section. So I want to have a sub menu of recipe for ugali in my blog section as a sub menu. So I have added the sub menu, and see I have moved it below the blog. Also, I need some new menu to appear. I want to add one more additional option in the menu, that is the about page. About page, see I have dragged it and I have moved it below home. and I save it. So you can in fact customize the flow of menu over here as well. I have saved it. So now over here you can see a new menu that has come out is the about. Yes, and if you look into the blog section, see the sub menu is added and I get the recipe for ugali over here. So the website looks perfectly fine to me. I'm back to my dashboard over here. So in this section, we have actually learned how to create a menu. You can customize your menu as per your requirement. You can create multiple sub menus. You can create multiple parent menus. But the tip over here is please try to avoid creating multiple menu options on your website. Otherwise, it makes your website looking very bad. So if you want to add anything, it is always better to think of a big parent menu. Like if you want to add too many recipes and you want the users to go to those recipe pages from the menu option, then maybe you can click, you can create a menu called as a recipe, or there can be a page created as a recipe, and under that you can have the sub menus, how I have done for the blog section. So there is a big parent menu called as blog, and under that I can always create the sub menus for different recipes. So when the users just take the mouse cursor to that particular menu, automatically there is a drop down box and the users can select any of the sub menus, visit that particular page. If they want to come back to the home page, there is a home option button over there, or they can simply click on the logo of your product and they can come back to the home page. So that's how you have to make your website quite simple, and that is the reason why the menus have to be used well. If you don't give menus, then a lot of your pages which are there in the main website will be hidden. And most important point that I want to cover over here is that this website that I have created is not a one-page website. It's not a one-page website, so menus play a very important role. In case of one-page website, you have all the content on one page. But the problem with the one-page website is, since you're covering everything on one page, the users have to scroll down for each and everything, and that becomes quite difficult when the users are on the mobile phone and even on the laptops. Nobody likes, you ask the question to yourself, do you like to scroll down and scroll down for any of the information that you find? And let's say if you get some information at the bottom of the web page, would you like to scroll back again or somewhere middle of the website to get the link to another information that you're searching? You will not. So that's the one of the reason why the one page websites are not a good option, but they are a good option if you have a very limited information, let's say limited to 2 or 3 sections only, or you're trying to come up with a landing page to advertise your products or services. But if you're looking for a full-fledged website, then a one page website is really not a good option, and you have to make best use of the menus, the widgets in the footer areas, and make it attractive, and most important is user-friendly website. Moving ahead, let's have a look at the final website. So we have done a lot, and probably you're wondering, this big bar is there on top which shows Kabul Cafe, customize, and all these options, when even the public view of the website. So before I jump into that, I'll just delete cache. So whatever extra resources are being utilized and I don't need will be automatically deleted. So it's just like the small dustbin for my WordPress. So cache is cleared so that website gives good performance. I'll just log out from here, and now I'll show how the website looks to public. So I'll refresh it. Once I refresh, see, the customized bar and everything is gone, and the people who will visit your website will not get any of this stuff to be displayed. The reason why you were getting, because you are in the development mode, and simultaneously with development, you were also looking how it looks to the audience who visit your website. Now we'll also click on this page and see, because when I used to click on the page, I used to get an edit button over here, which has again disappeared. Why? Because the public don't have to edit anything. It's just for the developers. So the minute you log out from the WordPress, see, it disappears. It's gone. The edit buttons are gone. It disappears entirely. So this is the final look of my website. See, I can click on any of the link and I can go to any of the recipes over here. I can change between different recipes using the arrows also. And this is how my website looks. I can click on home button, or I can click on the logo and I can move front and back to whichever pages. And this is my final website, ladies and gentlemen, for my restaurant. And yes, it looks pretty awesome. So you have to make use of all the sections. I have tried to cover up all the complicated stuff in very simple steps, in very small pieces and parts. And that's the reason I had divided this session into 2 days, so that whatever you learn on day one is implemented, whatever you learn on day two is implemented back, and you have your website ready. Now, as usual, we have some work to be done. The task for today. So here we have completed demonstration of day 2, but now the important thing is that you already have a prototype of your website ready. So the task for the day today that you have to do is you have to add images of your choice to the slide bar areas, modify your home page. You have to try to create new pages related to your business. Add those pages to the menu. You can add as sub menus. If you want, you can also add social media links. So if you have a Facebook page, Facebook profile page, you can also link it to your website, or you can add a Facebook icon, how I added the Ugali image on my web page. Similarly, you can add a Facebook image, and you can also click and hyperlink that with your Facebook profile. Once your website is ready, and if you want me to go through it, or if you want some suggestions from my end, you can just copy the link of your website. If your website is on the public domain, if you're using the free hosting service and free domain name service that I have demonstrated yesterday, then it is in public domain. So you can just paste that URL, you can write some notes, and you can tag my page @meet Shehrevar. So I will be notified, and I'll be able to give you guidelines what to do, what not to do, and how you can improve it much more better. So this was all for today's session, and I open up the floor for you. If you have any questions to ask me, please feel free to ask questions if you have any, and I open up the floor for questions now. So if anyone of you have any questions, please feel free. I have live users also in the group, but as of now there are no questions from their end as well. And probably I assume the questions will come when you will actually start working on it. So I'll wait for a minute, assuming that you might have some questions. Okay, so I have one question in the group from one of our live streamer. The question is that, what is the difference between a page and a post? So there is certainly a lot of difference between a page and a post. Basically, the post is useful. Like if you look at WordPress, it is a CMS, but initially WordPress was introduced in market for not creating a website, but particularly for creating blogs. So blogs are basically not a kind of website. The blogs are like a personal diary or a public diary using which you write about different topics, about your experiences, tourism blog about the graphics and everything. So the concept of post is existing. But then later on, they improved it to make it a software that supports building up of the websites. And that's the reason the concept of pages came into existence. So page is somewhere where you want to write something in detail, and blogs can be the post can be used when you want to add some recipes wherein you can display the date and time, or you have some customers coming in, you want to note down their testimonial. So in that case, you can make use of the post where you can show the date, time, and detailed stuff over there. And pages where you don't want to display when it is published and who have written it and all those kind of information, you can always make use of page. But there is a lot of freedom when it comes to creation of page compared to the post. So pages, you can also add post in as a part of the menu. You can also add page as a part of the menu, but page looks and makes a website look quite pretty professional, because usually nobody uses post as a part of information or nobody uses a post to, let's say, if I want to create a about us section, nobody uses a post for about us, but there is always a page because you can add multiple contents and so forth. So if there are any questions from any of our Zoom participants, I'll just wait for a minute for questions to come from your end. So I assume there are no questions. So let me conclude today's session. Thank you everyone for joining us for this second session, day 2 session on develop website in clicks. Should you have any questions even after the session, please feel free to drop a message on my Facebook page directly using the messenger services. You can also download the copy of today's presentation directly from my Facebook page. Even the recorded series for this particular session will be available. If you have your friends who are also looking for the short tutorials on how to develop a website, or if you have friends and relatives who don't have an idea that how they can market their business and they don't want to make much more investment in website, so you can also share this tutorial with them and you can help them as well. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Have a good night. Stay safe. Bye-bye.